Welcome back, my extraterrestrial mafia. I'm Alien, and this is new Toon Tuesday. In today's episode, we'll be doing a Water Blast Kinetics Corrupter. This was a build that I've thought about doing in the past, and I actually do a Ice Kinetics version of it. So I knew a little bit more about it, so this actually went pretty fast. So we got our knockback. We got knockback here, and we have our knockback here. We have the steadfast protection here, and the gladiator's armor protection here, and transfusion 4 slots. 5 or 6, you don't really need that much. You just need to get the accuracy, the recharge, and the healing up, and that's about it. Water burst. One of the tricks that I try and do is that target AoE sets I'm not a big fan of. I say this in all my live streams, which I do these live. I actually build them live on Monday nights. So I try and fit in the ATO IOs or the universal damage in these target AoEs to avoid using these crappy sets. There's some sets that are useful in some builds, but most I don't really use any of them. So in Water Burst, I wanted the ATO in here to avoid having to use one of those targeted AoEs. Geyser, I couldn't avoid it, so I went ahead and threw Ragnarok in there. It's nice recharge, recovery, and accuracy, but there's no defense involved, no damage involved, no hit points, no anything else. So it's a good set, as we've maybe all used in the past on some builds. But it's the best in slot for what I had left over, because the other ATO here gives AoE defense, and we don't really need AoE defense. And this only gives max endurance different versus fire cold resistance here. Other than that, the other 3 bonuses are the same. So Ragnarok. Transference 3 slots to get the accuracy and the recharge. The endurance boost it's nice, but it's not needed. So you can fire this off quite often. Hasten 2 slots is normal. Whirlpool 6 slotted. 5 slots of the overwhelming force. This is perfect because it has a chance for knockdown in it. So it'll knock down enemies that it hits, and it also has a chance for resist debuff in it. This is possible because the power itself has a minus defense in it, or as part of the power. So this allows us to do a 20% resist debuff on the enemies, which is amazing. It's just it buffs your own damage and buffs everyone else's damage. Tidal forces have the chance for buildup in it. This will trigger probably every other time you fire off the power. So it's a nice controlled boost to your damage for when that triggers, versus having it in tactics where it'll just randomly go off, every so often. Siphon power, I grabbed accuracy and endurance in here. It's up very often, so you don't need the recharge, but trying to save on endurance and the accuracy, of course. Increased density, just resist IO in here. You could move. See, I have the set here, and I have the set here. There's not really much else I can put in here. I could probably do maybe the max HP, but that's not a big boost. I'd rather help the team with their resistances to smashing and energy than to have a proc in here to help me out. Speed boost, just an endurance mod, endurance reduction. Efficacy adapter in here, and that's just to help the endurance, because you're gonna be firing off quite often, so it'll help you out with endurance. Combat jamming Kismet, I say this in all my videos, this is to hit. This is 6% to hit, which is super important to have some to hit in your build, whether it's tactics or focus accuracy or targeting drones, anything. So in these particular builds, instead of taking tactics, I just put the Kismet proc in here. That's all you need. You don't need these crazy high accuracy numbers. That's if you're doing PvP and stuff like that. For PvE, you don't really need that much accuracy. So this is perfect here, and then whatever you get from set bonuses and the IOs themselves. Kick. Someone had mentioned to me in a comment, why don't you just get kick instead of boxing? And he's right, but me personally, I generally don't ever use the power. But at least here at kick, we can put the chance for plus recharge in it. So if you do want to use the power, you'll have this nice chance of extra recharge. This is 100% recharge, but only for 5 seconds. So it's very short, but it'll help. It'll be a slight boost to your recharge of your nukes and stuff like that. But putting this into your attack chain might hinder your damage because you're doing an extra attack versus just keep cycling through your attack chain. So I don't really know. I haven't tested it, but if anybody really finds out and they do proper testing of it, let me know. Again, in the comments, I read them. Tough, we did 3 slots here because we were going for range defense. I'll explain that later. Fulcrum Shift. In this case, we wanted the extra recharge because Fulcrum Shift is amazing. So we go with the accuracy, recharge, endurance. Just because there's no sets in here. There's no sets that go in this power. Thunderstrike, we went ahead did a Frankenslotting of it to get that extra ranged defense out of it. Again, I'll explain that later. But this is a nice power. It does good damage. I mean, if you look at it, do I have anything triggered? No, so it's already doing 702 damage. So if you hit like Tidal Forces, it's 908. Or if you do Fulcrum Shift at full, which it's 1,100 damage for Thunderstrike. So this is just a nice little power to hit like a mob that's already aggroed, because although you need to be in melee range for the Fulcrum Shift, you're mostly a ranged character. So every now and then use this; it'll come in handy. Charged armor, resistance. I don't really do defensive powers in the epics because that hinders the slotting and variation of protection for yourself. I've done in the past. I might do it some more later. It's just in particular builds. In most builds, resistance. I'd rather get that nice boost of resistance right off the bat, and then just build towards defense / resistance / everything else. Shocking bolt. Don't need more damage. We already have all of our attacks. So this is just a nice extra hold that you can use with teams in case you don't have a controller or a dominator. This will also help in hand-me-down raids and other things. Lady Grey Task Force, in case you don't have one, like I said. And for the last slot, again, you don't have to put these in the exact same slot order. You can intermix them. You can get Siphon Speed earlier in the build. But here it was my last slot. I didn't really have any other choices. Power Sync you don't need because you have Transference. Don't need Electric Fences. It's an Immobilize. That doesn't help you that much. So we were kind of out. Assault's a decent choice, but Assault... Let me explain this to you. Assault is 15% damage boost for your powers. But it doesn't say, because it's 15% of your base value. So Geyser, for example, does 208.5 damage base value. So it's 15% of this, not 15% of your buffed number. So 644.3, it's not 15% of that. And same thing with everything. Same thing with build-up, same thing with Tidal Forces, same thing with Transfer build-up. It's all percentages based on your base damage, not your buffed damage. It's still nice to have. It's Fulcrum Shift. It's still nice to have. But in this sense, we weren't desiring an extra toggle to give us just a little bit of damage. We ended up going with Siphon Speed. Me personally, I'll probably do Assault, but in most people's builds and everything I've seen, they've always done Siphon Speed and Siphon Power. So we kept it here. And this person also wanted more of a team-friendly build. So Siphon Speed just helps buff your team with Fulcrum Shift and stuff because of the recharge. But this is an option. This is an option for the person that this is for. If you want to switch it out, go ahead. I won't stop you. There's so many different ways of doing build. That's why this game is so awesome. Switch this out. Grab Assault. Just do an end mod in Assault. Don't need anything else in it. And you can move this slot to you can really move it. There's not really anything else necessary. You could probably just go here and get the reactive defense, scaling resistance. So this will just help. This will boost your resistance as you decrease in life. So up to 10%, 3% base, up to 10. So you have two different options here. I'll let you choose. Incarnate abilities with Agility Core. I'm a big fan of Agility Core. I say this in all of my videos. It's just a great all-around buff. Recharge rate helps you with survivability, buffing your team, doing damage, because it's recharge of all your powers. And then defense, because I'm a defense fanatic. And two more notes here. Water Blast and Kinetics is a great damaging combo. It's a combo that like everyone did when Water Blast came out. I shouldn't say everyone, but a lot of people did. But I would like to note though is that it's not a great synergistic combination because Kinetics wants you to be inside the mob while Water Blast is kind of a exterior fighting power set. That doesn't necessarily mean they won't work. Just you got to be careful when you go into Fulcrum Shift and Transfusion and Transference to make sure you're not getting hit by things because you're going to be in melee range to get the buff for yourself. If you're just buffing your team, you don't need to be in there because they'll get the buff with the enemies around them. We went with the range defense here because it's really hard to get Smash and Lethal and melee defense on a full range power set. So with the range, that way you're at least protected. You can stay away a little bit and you'll be protected. You just have the one melee power here. And the other note is your attack chain. Your attack chain should be, my opinion, this is how I run mine, is Aqua Bolt, Dehydrate, Aqua Bolt again, that'll give you 3 Tidal Force levels, and then you do Water Jet, and then you do Water Jet right after, because it'll recharge instantly. So Aqua Bolt, Dehydrate, Aqua Bolt, Water Jet, Water Jet, Water Jet, and then do it again. So Aqua Bolt, Dehydrate, Aqua Bolt, Water Jet, Water Jet. That's how I felt like is the maximum amount of damage you can put out. Water Burst is for AoE clearing, Whirlpool AoE clearing, Geyser AoE clearing, but for AVs and giant monsters and stuff like that. That's what I suggest. Is Aqua Bolt, Dehydrate, Aqua Bolt, Water Jet, Water Jet. I know I've said that too many times, but that's my favorite. We skipped Hydro Blast because of its cast time and its recharge. It doesn't really fit that well into the attack chain because of that. So its DPS by itself is lower than Aqua Bolt. And because Aqua Bolt we're putting into the attack chain after each power, its DPS will actually be greater than Hydro Blast would be. So, and that's why we did that. And that's it. I hope I explained everything to you. If there's something you don't understand or you want some explained, just leave a comment in the description or just in the video. I read them. I'll reply. I'll try and be scientific behind it. I try and keep my emotions to myself. And if you like what you see, and you need help with one of your builds, and you're interested to see what I can do with it, there's a link in the description for my spreadsheet. Just put your information in, and I will build it sometime live on Monday nights, and then I'll make a video just like I am now, and I'll be posting it for you to see. in each of those videos and in the spreadsheet, there's a link in there to my Dropbox account, which will actually have the file for Mids Reborn in there, so you can download it and open it up yourself and play around with it. You can change things yourself. So it's all there. So if you like what you see, leave a like. If you don't like what you see, then sorry. But I'm AlienMafia, and have a good one.